There's a moment, a specific, precise moment when someone confronts you. Why would you do that? Do you really think that's okay? Explain yourself. And before your brain has time to calculate, your mouth moves, your heartbeat spikes. Your instinct kicks in, and you start talking. You don't even realize it, but in that moment, you've just surrendered the frame. Because here's the rule you were never taught. The person who explains is the person with less power. When you feel the need to justify yourself, what you're really doing is seeking permission for your actions, your thoughts, your presence, and permission is never what power seeks. This isn't about being cold for the sake of it. This is about understanding that human beings are animals, and animals respond to hierarchy. We don't respect what begs. We respect what withholds. That's why the person who can sit in silence wins. You were raised to explain yourself, conditioned to believe that being understood was noble, that it would save you from rejection, from conflict, from pain. But it didn't. It only made you smaller, more predictable, easier to dominate. Every time you explain, you give the other person a roadmap to your vulnerabilities. You teach them where to press next time, where the soft spots are, where your self-worth is negotiable. And people remember that. They remember the version of you that scrambled to justify, not the words you said, not your logic. They remember the imbalance of power. Silence, on the other hand, is unforgettable. It creates tension. And tension is the birthplace of control. You want to know who holds the upper hand? Watch who gets uncomfortable in the silence. It's always the one who's chasing, always the one trying to win the emotional frame. Here's a rule. If they're demanding an explanation, they already believe they have leverage. Your response either confirms it or destroys it. Let's invert the social script. Because when someone confronts you, you were trained to shrink, to soothe, to clarify. But try this instead. They say, "Why didn't you tell me?" You say nothing, just a calm, level gaze. Let them fill the silence. Let their own assumptions eat them alive. Or they say, "You could have at least explained yourself." And you say, "There's nothing I needed to explain." Short, final, undeniable. That's not arrogance. That's power without anxiety. You're not reacting. You're not begging to be understood. You're not protecting your image. Because deep power doesn't care what people think. It watches. It waits. It commands without raising its voice. You'll notice something else, too. The moment you stop explaining, people lean in. They start trying to interpret your silence. They start asking others what they think you meant. That's psychological gravity. They're orbiting around your stillness. Because here's the truth. We respect what we can't easily access. We admire what isn't desperate to be seen. And the ones who explain themselves all the time, they disappear. Because their energy says, "I need you to approve of me." Power is the opposite. It says, "I'm whole, with or without your understanding." And in a world full of performers, those who can sit in the silence become the directors. If this makes you pause, you're already thinking differently. Subscribe. This channel isn't for people who want to feel good. It's for people who want to become undeniable. So let's go deeper, because this isn't just about not explaining. This is about mastering the psychological architecture of silence. It's about understanding that in every interaction, there's a hidden power struggle, and words, when used carelessly, give power away. Let's start with the truth most people never see. Explaining yourself isn't neutral. It signals insecurity. It signals desperation. And more than anything, it signals guilt. Even when you're innocent, the act of explaining implies there's something to defend, that you're seeking approval or afraid of punishment. This is the behavior of prey. High-status individuals don't do this. They don't explain their choices. They don't justify their existence. They don't respond to every emotional tug someone throws at them. Because every time you do, you train the other person. You are reactive. You are accessible. You are emotionally obedient. Let me show you how this works in real life. Tactic 1. The frames shatter. Someone says, "Why didn't you tell me you were meeting with them?" Most people start with, "I meant to, I just got caught up, I thought wrong. Try this instead. I didn't think it was necessary." That's it. No emotion. No apology. The sentence slams the door shut. It puts the weight back on them to respond to your decision. You're not entering their emotional courtroom. You've just dissolved it. Tactic 2. The strategic delay in high-pressure moments, you'll feel the impulse to respond instantly. Don't. The delay is the power. They say, "Well, what do you have to say?" You say, "I'll respond to that when I'm ready." Even 5 seconds of silence before a response forces them to feel tension. That discomfort makes them doubt the strength of their position. It forces them to chase your answer. You're no longer playing their game. You're making them wait for yours. Tactic 3. The invisible mirror. They accuse you. They expect a counter-argument. Instead, you reflect their own insecurity back at them. They say, "Do you think that was okay?" You calmly reply, "Do you think it wasn't?" Suddenly, they're on trial. Suddenly, they are explaining themselves. That's what frame control feels like. Tactic 4. The bare minimum answer. They expect a monologue. They get a word. They say, "Why did you do that?" You say, "I chose to." Period. No elaboration. No opening for analysis. This makes them realize you are not accessible on demand. Your time, your emotions, your mind, they are not public property. Tactic 5. The complete silence. Sometimes the most terrifying thing you can do is nothing. No look, no movement, no reaction. Just silence. Let them drown in the noise of their own expectations. You'll see something strange happen. The longer you stay silent, the more they try to explain for you. They will start making assumptions, adjusting their tone, second-guessing their own approach. And now, you've reversed the power dynamic. Understand this? Power is not loud. It's not emotional. It's not argumentative. It's calm. It's deliberate. It's composed under pressure. And most importantly, it's comfortable with being misunderstood. You see, average minds panic when they aren't seen correctly. Powerful minds, they're indifferent, because they know that perception is a game, and they are not playing it to be liked. They're playing it to lead, to own the frame, to control outcomes with fewer moves. That's why when you stop explaining, your presence becomes more dense, more dangerous, more respected. Because now, people don't know what you're thinking, and uncertainty breeds fascination. They start asking questions about you. They start watching their words around you. They treat you with caution, not because you threatened them, but because you didn't need to. And this is where the shift happens. When you realize that being understood is not a necessity, it's a vulnerability. The less you explain, the more you own your narrative, and the more they need you to speak while you speak less. Let them chase clarity. Let them dissect your silence. Let them feel the imbalance. You're not here to be interpreted like a book. You're here to be felt like a force. So here's your final rule. Never explain what makes you powerful. Never justify your calm. Never overexpress your intentions. Power is not in how much you say. It's in how little you need to say to change the room. And the moment they realize you're not explaining, you're not performing, you're not seeking their permission, that's when they start seeing you differently. Not as someone to argue with, but as someone to respect. If this changed something in you, don't explain it. Just type "silence is power" in the comment, like the video, and subscribe. Power speaks for itself. See you in the next video.